Well, hello, beautiful, and welcome to the Women of Color in Business podcast. I am your host, Lynette Cottrell, and here we're all about empowering Black women to build sustainable businesses, embrace radical self-love, and release money trauma. So let's jump right into another great episode. Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another episode of the Women of Color in Business podcast. We have with us today another beautiful and brilliant Black woman. We'll begin by allowing her to introduce herself to you guys in her business.
Oh, thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm so happy to be here amongst my tribe.
Yes.
I am Arthur F.M. Ellis, but please call me Faye for the sake of this show. You are now part of my tribe, so we don't have to keep it so formal.
Yes, yes.
I actually run and host the online writers community for everybody for real. But my avatar, my ideal client is a Black female, professional female living in the U.S. who's a subject matter expert on something. And aren't we all subject matter experts on something?
Yes,
Whether
yes.
it's our backstory, our forestory, or if it's just something that we are proficient in, we can put those in writing because representation matters. So it is my goal my audacious goal to help 100 women, Black professional women living in the US, to start, finish, and publish their books within the next year. So, and my community resides on the school platform, but we'll get into that later.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. I love, love, love your audacious goal. And to your point, all of us do. We have at least one thing, right, that we're really proficient in. So I love that you're doing this, and representation matters. So it matters for me to read and learn from a voice that's connected to me, in a certain
Absolutely.
way. So another Black woman showing me something, teaching me something, giving me knowledge about something hits totally differently. And I think it would encompass me both culturally,
Mm-hmm.
as a female, as a sister, mother, daughter, all those different areas, and
Yes,
as a Black American, right? All
absolutely.
those elements is going to be pulled into that information I receive. So that is just awesome, awesome, awesome.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank you.
loving it. So, how long have you been doing this particular thing?
So funny that you should ask. Everybody wants to know the backstory. How did you get where you are? But let me
Yes.
tell you how it was before it got how it is.
Okay. How was it?
So I actually started in 2012 writing my own book, My Life as a Lemon, The Memoirs of
Yes.
Me, which is the banner behind me. But
Yes.
I didn't finish it until the pandemic, till 2020.
Mm.
And but what came out of that was a platform. People started sending me messages, text messages, setting up phone calls, just asking me different questions about my life, or sending me DMs saying they didn't know how much we were connected, like a lot of people that I went to school with. And so I
Oh.
reconnected with some old friends, and then I got reconnected with some family members where there was some just, some avoiding having a conversation.
Ah.
The book brought the conversation to the forefront. Lots of apologies, lots of love, lots of grace and forgiveness. And I'm just like, you know what? I want everybody to feel this.
Ah.
And so I started a YouTube channel. And I really wanted my focus, because there are so many social issues within my personal story. But
Uh-huh.
the one that resonated most was about sexual abuse. So I
Mm-hmm.
actually started the channel to encourage other people to come forward and just have like an online therapy session, listen
Okay.
to how other people live their lives, the pitfalls, the traumas, the triumphs, and everything.
Ah.
So I called it writer's block because it's like a blind spot. A block is it keeps you from moving forward, right?
Right,
And
right.
sometimes you know why, it's other times you don't.
Yes.
But most recently, so I did that for 4 years, and I was like, okay, I work full time as a project manager. I would
Okay.
love to do this full time, but I'm just talking. I don't have anything to besides my book that's tangible that can really get people involved. And so
Right.
I did what I'm asking people to do with me. I hired a coach, and
Ah,
my coach went through my channel and told me, you have two different things going on. You have an in-person studio with guests, and that's like a whole TV show. But what is it that you really want? Because you have these talking head videos of just yourself. And I just said, I want to help other people write books, their book. That's how Writer's Block came about. He said, then remove everything off of your channel and focus on that. And that literally was in October. And since then,
ah,
our class has grown to about 220 people.
mm.
And so I have a free community, and then I have the paid community for those people who can commit to the sprint to get their book done in 90 days. So it's pretty, and it's in its infancy, but we're moving along. So that was
Oh,
a long way to come back to
no, no,
how
no,
I got.
no. We love hearing the journey. It's all about the journey, right?
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. It's how you got there to where you are, because a lot of times one of the things I talk about a lot, and I think that that is a source of entrepreneurs struggling, is
Mhm.
because we see the finish line photographs on Instagram and social media, and we don't know the journey. So then when we
Yeah.
start our journey and we hit walls and blocks, right? We think
Mhm.
that's just innate to us. Like nobody else is going through this. It's just me. So that must mean I'm not good enough for this. I don't have the right stuff. I need to just give it up, right? As
Mhm.
opposed to knowing the journey, there's some steps you have to take to get there, and they're not all happy steps, They're not all picture perfect moments, but they're part of the process. So I love you sharing your journey of it started out as this, but I had to pivot, and do this and change some things to get it here, right?
Absolutely.
Very
Yes.
important information. And
Mhm.
also you shared that you started writing your book in 2012, and in 2020 you completed. So again, that was an 8-year process for you
Yeah.
to get that information out, right? Because
Mhm.
you were writing a autobiography.
Yes.
Right. So that's different from writing a fiction story about something. You had to dig
Absolutely.
into you, right? So that's also a process.
It
So I
really
love
is.
you sharing all those things. Good
Yes.
stuff, good stuff, good
Yes.
stuff.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
It's
in
a,
this, so now your passion is to help 100 Black women get their stories or their book or their specialty book written and
yeah.
be successful with it.
Absolutely. I
Oh,
know so many, PhDs, physicians, teachers, lawyers, doctors,
yes.
solopreneurs, big, CEOs. I mean,
Yeah.
women are really doing the thing. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, so if they give you some reference point that people are successful all around.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, once, you know, you get past what we consider your money earning years, or you just want to reminisce on what was.
Right.
But if you can create a brand out of your legacy, then
Mm,
it can continue. You can go around after you retire and start speaking, helping others, like really putting hands in the clay and molding
right.
other people as well. We spend all of our working years for fulfilling someone else's dream.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You
Yes.
know? Get your certifications, get your degrees, and get promoted. But you may be wonderful at that, but that is really pouring into someone else's vision. But what can you extract from those daily tasks, activities, those projects that you actually can put into a manual to help someone else see that there is success beyond going through this, the American blueprint of working for somebody? I'm a
Yes.
subject matter expert in this. I learned from this organization, and I'm going to gift this to you so you don't have to waste 20 years
Mm,
or 15 years doing what I did. Here, take this and add your resources, your AIs, and all the new technology to it, and go flourish.
right. Wonderful, wonderful. You make an excellent point because when you talk about the years we spend pouring into other people's dreams. Like
Mhm.
my background is accounting, so I spent 25 plus years building accounting departments for entrepreneur companies. So I would come in, Faye, when the previous person had left and no one else there knew what accounting did. So here I am digging through research and figuring out what was done, what wasn't done. So I ended up becoming very skilled at putting systems in place, writing manuals for accounting, helping entrepreneurs understand in layman terms, about their financial reports and their finances. So fast forward to today, I do a compassionate accounting course for entrepreneurs to teach them the basis of business and money. The companies that are starting out in the first 5 years. So my core target market, like yours, is Black women. So Black women
Mhm.
entrepreneurs in those first 5 years. So all that experience, knowledge, all the tips, all the ways I had to break the information down, that those skills I'm now transferring
Mhm.
into my own business to help us in our businesses because the statistics show, unfortunately, we're the fastest growing group of Black women, new small businesses, but our businesses that last to 5 years is only 3%.
Yeah, it's a small number because
Yeah,
the rules of the game were written without us in mind. So the time that we see our counterparts that don't look like us seems to just skip along.
yes,
It's because they have the secret.
exactly,
You don't
exactly.
get to playing a game when you don't know all the rules,
Right,
right?
right. And you wonder, well, why don't I get a point for that? And they're like, no, that doesn't count. You got to do it
That's
this
about
way.
how
You're
we
like,
understand.
right. You're like, but I thought, no, that's not how you play this game. So to your point, part of what you're doing is allowing us to write the blueprint for each other. Because being
Absolutely.
able to take our expertise and put it in a book, we're able to tell other people this is how it should be done. This is how it is successfully done, right?
Absolutely.
You don't know about this. I've been doing this for 20 years. This is how it's successfully done. You don't know about marketing. I was doing marketing for different corporations. This is how it's successfully done. So I think what you are doing here is it's like tenfold, right? It's not just about that person writing that expertise, but it's about everyone that's going to benefit from learning that information. From they played this position in the game, somebody else played another position, and we get all that great information. So
Put it all
kudos
together.
to you for
Absolutely.
that. I
Thank
appreciate you
you.
for that.
Thank you. Thank you. I just, I'm always, my outreach is through DMs, newsletters, text messages. And what I will say, we are a big detriment to ourselves
Mm,
because, and I understand we're in a society that kind of tells us that our voice doesn't matter,
yes.
or if we want to be heard, we have to come off some type of way.
Mm,
And so when you present another way to communicate and be heard to the culture, sometimes there is a lot of resistance.
hmm
I mean, and it don't matter if a woman is a PhD or a GED. Everyone has the exact same excuses. Um, I don't know where to start. I
Uh-huh.
don't have the money.
Mm,
I don't have the time.
mm.
Who will want to hear my story?
Yes,
And
yeah.
I'm sitting here like literally about to fall. I'm like, I hate I'm on camera most of the time when I'm talking to these people because I know my face is like I'm probably standing with them, like you know,
Uh-huh.
and that I don't. That is crazy that in a society that tells you you're not valuable and they want to hear your voice, that is no matter how much education, that's our takeaway. You get what I'm saying? Like
Yes,
no amount of schooling, none of that, no amount of income has taken that insecurity away. And
got
so
it.
I'm not just trying to convince women to put even whether it's their personal story or their professional stories in writing. My biggest hurdle is to convince them that they are authors. Whether they
Yes,
put it right or not, you are an author of your life.
yes, yes.
So yeah, the battle it can be a battle.
Right, right. That's a wonderful point that it doesn't matter whether they have a GED or a doctorate, right? We
Mhm.
are subject to the same information, the same society. And if we take that information in and internalize it, then we have the same limiting beliefs. Like, nobody wants to hear this. You're like, but you
Absolutely.
have a doctorate, but nobody wants to hear what I have to
Nobody
say.
wants to
So it doesn't matter. So I love that because to our listeners, I hope the point they receive is that no matter where they are, right?
hear. Mhm.
There's something they know really well and they know it better than anyone else. So it
Absolutely.
doesn't matter what degree you have or if you don't have a degree, you have years of experience doing something. For someone who's just beginning to do that,
Absolutely.
you have valuable information despite what society says to you. Very
I mean, that's the way
good.
to talk back, or what the young people would say, clap back. Look at it,
Right.
right? Even without
Right.
knowing, it'll still be here.
That's true. That's true. That book will be a lasting legacy.
Absolutely. They could take monuments down, close museums, but what we have read, the songs we have heard, the movies we have seen, they can never be taken
They
away,
can
right?
exactly, exactly. I love that. I love that. So what do you love most about what you do, Faye?
Ooh, I am speaking to women who, once again, it's encouraging to see people be transparent and probably for the first time in their lives on a
Yes.
2 hour call.
Mm,
And it's amazing because I'm no therapist, I'm not a counselor or anything of the sort legally.
right, right,
you know, are
right.
walking people through, you know, whether they want to. A lot of women who are professionals, they vacillate between, should I put out my personal story first or should I do my subject matter expert book, which is
Mm,
cool. I love the fact that they're thinking to do both, like it's and
right,
not
right.
or. But I just said, which one is ready to be birthed? Because we got that pit in our stomach. Which one do you have to get out right away? Because if you don't get that first one out, the second one will not be as good as it should be because it's you're running it through another, through something else, through emotions or traumas that you may need to get out if you need to tell your story. Or you may be doing at a point in your life where you're on a high with success and going back and telling your personal story first would just mentally put you in a space where your professional story wouldn't be told correctly. So um, it's I just feel like I am doing the work that I was always meant to do. And yeah, people say, what would you do if you had to do it for free? Honey, well, anybody ever started a business? No, you always doing it for free for a minute. Nobody is in charge. You always doing it for free. So I feel no guilt. I feel no shame. It's a sense of refresh. It's just refreshing. It feels like I'm honoring myself, my daughters, my mother, and the women that are in my life by saying, hey, you have an outlet, even if you don't think you do.
Yes.
So I feel like it's almost, for those that are not spiritual, but I feel like it's, sorry, God's work. Like I was
Uh-huh.
to do this.
Yes, yes. Wonderful, wonderful. Um, I like that. I like that. And I am very adamant about us when we're building businesses to make sure that we are building them holistically. So we're not just thinking about the wealth part of it, but we're thinking
Mhm.
about the us part of it, right? Our spiritual, mental, physical health too. So spirituality is our spirits are the biggest part of who we are, really,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So we
Yeah.
all should find some way to connect to that and start there. Like, so spirituality should, I think it's um it's sensible for it to flow into everything we do some kind of way. It should be there.
Mhm.
So, it's speak about it. It's real. It's who we are.
Yeah.
I love that. Has
Yeah.
anything in your childhood, can you look back to your childhood? We often ask children, what do you want to be when you grow up? Can you look back to your childhood and see anywhere where what you're doing now was informed or was connected or in some way related?
In a way, I really can. I love reading growing up. So I was always in like at the library in the summer, during the summer, part of the summer book
Yes.
club. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, and it was just natural. I think kids back in the day read more because you either played outside or you came in and you watched a couple of shows because TV actually went off and
Yes.
then you had to entertain yourself somehow. And as you got into your teenage years, you started reading magazines like Young Miss and Miss Teen and all of this
Uh-huh.
stuff. And books. I mean, the library was just a big part of our community. And the funny thing is, I remember at a young age writing an article for Reader's Digest and
Oh,
actually having it published in there, you know? I used to
oh.
read it. I used to love these stories that they had.
Yes,
Oh, there
me
was a
too.
section. Oh my God.
Yes.
And I just recall there was a connection like, oh, I could actually be a writer. But then outside influence is like in my community, people don't connect writing, authorship with freedom and finance and building a brand because these were terms that were not familiar to us. You had to
Right.
follow the blueprint of, get some type of certification, go to college and get some type of degree in order to, create wealth. But that was initially my first passion was writing. And I used to always journal and write out stuff from curse words to everything. Like my mom, I was mad at her and I would go in the room, close the door, and just start,
Ah.
so you can't curse, but then nobody saying you can't write cursive.
Right.
But so it was a way for me to really express myself. And I shared it with another lady I was interviewing with her last week about I my journey does explain that at one point I was incarcerated
Uh-huh.
and just living life, having a good time. I kind of had a disconnect with reading because I was busy doing all the things, right?
Uh-huh.
And I reconnected to reading behind bars. I
Mhm.
had my James Patterson, John Grisham, Mary Higgin Clark, Walter Mosley. So I just reconnected with just how amazing it feels to read a book and just be taken away out of your current environment and circumstances. It's
Yeah.
the only thing besides meditation, which I'm not good at,
Uh-huh.
that really can just calm you down and just
Ah.
yeah, it's just it is a healthy way to
Yes.
relax
Yes.
and just transcend to places that you may never have visited or may never be able to visit or see someone else going through things that are worse than yours, which help you put your life in perspective. So
Yes.
reading is
Yes.
amazing.
It is. It is. It's totally therapeutic. And one of the things you said earlier was you used to journal, like you used to get out your whatever you were feeling, you would get it out. And now that's one of the top healing and self-care modalities out there, right? But we
Yeah,
didn't think about that when we were writing out in our little, what did we, diary? We
I
was writing in the
died.
diary, right? We didn't think about it being a therapeutic modality,
Yeah,
but
but that
nowadays,
was the story.
yeah, nowadays people realize that that's so healing, right? To write, to journal every day in the morning or right before you go to bed, but just to get out the stuff that's running in your head and that have you highly emotional, right? And feeling overwhelmed,
Absolutely.
to get it out is just healing. And it's such a simple process, right? All you need is pen and paper to get it out. And then you talked about reading and being able to escape within a book and um and feel the stories that helps you to
Mhm,
put what you're going through in perspective, right?
mhm.
You get to
Yes.
escape to a new place, but you also have stories that help you think about your life. I was reading Terry McMillan once, and she said that she writes about things that she's curious about.
Mm.
So her way of learning about them is to write about them
Oh, I love it.
because she has to go deep into the thought process of it, right? She's trying to
Mhm.
figure out, well, how does this work? And why do I feel like this? Or why do people do this? So she started writing about it. And in doing that, she figures out, that curiosity is fed. And so other people who are reading the works, they get their curiosity fed, to your point. So
Absolutely. Yes.
yeah, reading, reading, reading. It's
And
very
they say
good.
it's fundamental, the word being fun.
Yes,
So
yes.
I also got a lot of pushback because sometimes I accidentally, well, not accidentally, I'll inbox someone who will say, Black people don't read. I have to get up and walk away for a
Come
minute
on.
because some of the responses that I get, like from a text or a DM or whatever, not necessarily a newsletter,
Right,
um, is very telling. I hate that the saying that if you want to hide something from a Black person, just
right.
put it
Put
in
in
the
the,
book.
yes,
And even though I'm focusing on women, I need our men to step it up with just reading. I know my
right.
dad used to make us read the paper. He will bring home books like Native Son, Malcolm X, and make us read
Yes.
those books. So he watched his news and he worked at night, and then he had his reading time. And we thought it was a punishment with the newspaper. It felt
Uh-huh.
like a punishment.
Right,
But then when we
right.
got into the books, even though they were thick, um, paperback, thick books, it was captivating. It was like,
Mm,
and then it's so funny, we were ahead of the class because then we're in the sixth grade or seventh grade, and now we're reading Malcolm X. You'd be like, oh, I read this 2 years ago.
right. Now
Or
we,
they
we
come
are
out with
ahead of
the
the
movie.
curve. Yes, yes. And I think that's one of those um that's one of those sayings or beliefs that are negative to us and not true
And
because
not true at all.
I know a lot of Black book clubs out there, right? And we read and read in our family and read at night to our kids, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah, yeah.
Because my mom read to us the Bible. So she'll do like a story. We could pick out that book and then she would read a Bible story or the Bible to us.
Okay.
And so I tried to stay with that cadence when my kids was young. It actually was great. Fix a cup of tea and go in there and sit on the edge of the bed and read to them. So if you have no other time, if you're busy, that is a great way to send your kid off to sleep. It's
Yes.
bonding. It's also you're learning together, and maybe they will repeat that too because readers produce readers if you
Yes.
listen to them.
Yes. Yeah, and that's in childhood is when we find our favorite books. I still remember my favorite books from my childhood, the kiddie books that my parents read to me. And after they read it to me, once I
Yeah.
knew it, I would just keep it and read it over and over to myself. So I have my favorites. So yeah, that's a lot of times that's when we fall in love with reading because we remember how it made us feel to be read to have someone,
Absolutely.
and if they acted out the story and changed their voice, it was even more entertaining, right?
Right, right.
So then
Yeah.
when you're reading to yourself, you're doing that too.
The same
You're
thing.
speaking with the characters and fun
Yeah.
stuff. What would you say is when you think about your business journey, and I know you say you had a business coach, I believe that I believe every human being should have a therapist, right?
Amen.
Every entrepreneur should have a therapist and a business coach, right? Because you don't know what you don't know. And so the therapist helps you as an entrepreneur deal with the past things, the traumas that are going to come up when
Mhm.
you're stepping out to do something great, right? Because whatever you've pushed down, you're going to knock up against it and have to deal with it. The business coach for what you're trying to do now to help you focus on the things you're avoiding, because you might want to just do all the fun stuff and not be doing the things to actually bring you clients. They hold you accountable
Right.
and they can see the blind spots that you can't see. That's why it's
Yeah.
called a blind spot. You can't
Absolutely. Don't know
see
the things
it.
you don't know, you don't know.
Exactly, exactly. So what would you say in your business journey? What has been I want you to tell us the best advice you ever received and what has been the worst advice you've ever received.
The worst advice would have to be one of my therapists. I was with her for years. When I say years, almost 10 years, but we had a great relationship. But one of the worst was she wanted me to go out and join this dating, like matchmaker
Uh-huh.
services. I was so embarrassed. It was the most uncomfortable thing because She was just trying to challenge me to date outside of my what I would consider my mental profile. So that the
Ah,
matchmaker would see things, like you said, blind spots that I wouldn't see.
ah, oh.
Now, it wasn't horrible, but I was just like, this is crazy. And then I'm not gonna my man gonna have to find me because I am not paying for him to just see me on some site like that. But so that was cuckoo. But the best advice was to most recently, Wendy Y. Bailey, I love when she said, I charge for that.
Mm,
So when we said knowing the value of our voice and everything,
yes,
we don't just think people don't want to hear us. We also don't think that what we have to say is worth people paying for.
yes,
And that's another little, battle I have. And I hate to use the word battle, but I'm gonna just try to keep it so people can visualize me fighting with people trying to make them be their best person, shaking it out of them. And
yes,
it's amazing what people won't spend money on.
yes,
Writing and publishing your book, having someone hold you accountable. You know what I'm saying? People won't spend money on a trainer, but yet they want a UFC or a bodybuilder's body. How?
right.
You would you perform surgery on yourself?
Mm,
You go to a professional. So in
yes,
this area of your life, you hire a professional. The word being hire. You're
yes,
paying for that service because now you have some skin in the game.
yes.
Jeez
That part,
Louise.
that
So
part.
I charged for that was the best line that I ever heard. She's like, and then my coach who told me to niche down, he was just like, he encourages you to give away as much free. And they have a different process. You give away amazing value and content for free.
Uh-huh.
Because know what? People see it, but people don't actually implement these things. They're going to pay you because your free information is so good. They need you to walk them through it, and you will pay. Then you can charge for that. Because
Uh,
if you and I think about anything we want to do is online on YouTube somewhere, we can figure it
yes,
out.
it is.
But we're
But do
hard
we
to
have
like
to
do it
set
because
right?
it's
Do we
like
have the self-discipline to do it by ourselves, or do we just tell me step one, just walk me through it
right,
to success? Because I'll stick with it with you. Me by myself, I'm just gonna look at these videos and not get nothing done. So you're
for
right.
anybody that ever went to the gym, if I go with a partner,
Yes,
I will increase my weight each, round. If I go
right.
by myself,
You gonna do the same?
every time I increase it. But if I'm a little tired, I may just keep the same weight and just give myself the idea that at least I'm doing the rounds, the
Yes,
reps, even though I haven't
yes,
increased the weight. So
right,
even though you know what people don't have, we don't have what we want to have because we don't do the things that we know we're supposed to do. And
right.
that's where professionals and coaches and therapists come in to help
Yes,
you hold you accountable, which means ownership of the things you said you're going to do. They
right,
just hold you accountable. That's it.
right.
And that's worth its weight in gold because if
It
you've been
is.
wanting to write a book for 20 years, like I hear people saying, and I can show you with my methodologies how to get it done in 90 days, is
Yeah.
that not worth some type of compensation?
Yes. Yes. Or else you'll be sitting on it 20 more years and never get it done versus getting it done in 90 days.
Dollars on a hookah and $300 on a girls' night out, but you won't spend that money to invest in yourself, thus really showing me how you feel about yourself.
Yes. Yes. And to your point, on that same topic, a lot of us have issues with pricing our services or our product to their value, right? Because
I'm guilty.
because
I'm
we have
guilty.
because we have this kind well, a couple of things we say. I found that my entrepreneurs say either they say, well, I need to price it low so that everybody can afford it. Number one. Number two, they say, well, I'm just so desperate to get a sale, I'm going to price it low so that I can at least get some sales coming in, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Those two situations, one, price it low for everybody. You're not trying to sell your service or product to everybody, first of
That's
all,
true.
right?
That's true. Yeah.
You have to have a defined target market. And so you're just selling your service or product to that target market. So finding out what that target market can afford for what you offer, what's the going rate for what you offer, and what's the value they're going to get from it.
Yeah.
So that canceled out making it extra low so everybody can afford it. And then when you make it too low, people don't put value to it, right?
Mhm,
I heard
mhm,
this one lady, and she was talking about doing retreats for women, and she said some people price their retreats so low that when people attend, they don't pay attention because they didn't have to pay anything to get there. They don't
mhm.
get as much from it as they could because they don't value it. Now, if
Yeah.
they put some real money down on coming to that retreat, they're going to be up early. They're going to be on time. They're going to be paying attention. They're going to be involved in all the activities. Why? Because they gave something and they
Yeah.
want to receive that value. So when you
Mhm.
ask people to give you less than what you're worth, they're going to get less from whatever you're giving because
Yeah.
they didn't put as much into it. And being desperate, pricing your services and product in desperation is just a recipe for disaster because you're
Mhm.
never going to make enough to cover your expenses. You're never going to become profitable, and you're going to be really frustrated and think this doesn't work when that's not it. You need to
Mhm.
price it higher because it's hard for us, for some reason, to believe that pricing it higher is going to be successful. We're going to get the
Mhm.
right people that value us. They're going to come to the table. They're going to be ready to purchase it and pay for it, and they're going to understand the value.
Right. Yeah, I totally get that. And I think once again, it does come back to how we perceive our value.
Yes.
Um, I'm never, if someone, there are people that charge $100,000 for their course.
Mm-hmm.
And I can guarantee you people attend it. I have been part of a lot of courses and they say at the beginning that only about 2% of you are going to actually do
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
what I'm telling you to
Right.
do. I've even seen like Anthony Robbins, Tony Robbins doing his, unleash,
Right.
seminar,
Right.
and they're in the mood and they're feeling it while they're in the stadium or while
Yes.
they're in the ballroom.
The
But
atmosphere. Yes.
once you leave, it's only a handful of people that have become transformed, where now they're going to move differently going forward. So it comes down to also mindset.
Mm.
But one thing that people like him offer is you come to this big event, but they always sell you coaching packages because they know as soon as
Yes.
you leave, you're going
Yes.
to go back to who you were because that's who you're familiar with.
Yes, that's human nature. That's your habit. You can't turn the habit off like that, right? Because you
Right.
go back to your environment and all those same things are there. It's kind of like it's so much for you to try to go against by yourself. So
Yes,
you
it's
need
like
that coaching. You need that coaching.
you need that person along the way. I mean, Olympians, everyone, I always tell my people, anyone that you look up to has a coach.
Yes. Oprah
If
has a coach.
LeBron James has a coach, he has
Yes.
multiple coaches, a
Right.
shooting coach, a this coach. And I mean, come on, a
Exactly.
weight trainer and a nutrition. Like, how do you want to be the best, or do you just want to say you want to do some things, or do you
Right.
want to do things subpar? Because
Right.
all of that is available to you. It's just kind
Yeah.
of where you see yourself in life.
Yes, yes, that's a very good point. I love that you brought up LeBron James because we look at the successful and the standout people, and we think they're just innately totally superb. Now, they
Yeah.
have talent and they have skill, but the fact that they understand I need 4 or 5 different coaches to keep me accountable, to keep pushing me so that I get better and better and
Mhm.
better, because even with my talent and skill, I still need a system to keep improving it, right? To keep going
Absolutely.
higher, to take me out of my comfort zone where I might not go by myself. And again, those blind spots that I can't see where I think working out this way is it, but they have expertise, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because this is all they do. They're able to tell me just tweak it this little way, and
Yeah.
it'll make a big difference. So that's
Yeah.
why coaches are so valuable because
Mm-hmm.
they specialize in exactly what they do. And they
Right.
can help you to improve in just by changing little things,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
You would never know that unless you invest. It's an investment.
It's an
investment code.
investment.
Yeah.
It's a word we should all learn. I love two things that you definitely leaned in on: investment and also just charging what our worth is. Because
Yes.
anybody's listening, including me, have definitely been guilty of, let me just start out this price. But
Yes.
I
Y-
hear a
y-
lot of things that you can never outbeat like the competition when it comes to lowering your price. What you're gonna do,
yes.
give it for free at some point.
Right.
So just level up your skills and charge for that.
Yes. Definitely. Definitely.
I love it. I love it. It's a really good conversation, especially for the demographic that we should also. One thing that's really sad that the thing that I offer, the thing that you offer, we have to fight people, battle people that look like us to believe that we can help them obtain the things that they want. But someone, unfortunately, we have so much trust in others
Yes.
that they could charge a couple of $100 or a couple of $1,000 more, and you want to go with that system because once again, that's also a part of the brainwashing, the mindset, the
It's
processing that
that's it.
you are not valued. Therefore, people who look like you are not valuable, and
Right.
then you have to try to come to me and negotiate and say, "Oh, wait, and
Right.
this and that, and maybe next week and da 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 da."
Right.
Meanwhile, you're spending and investing your money, your time, and your resources in other people's businesses and resources that don't feed back into your community.
Yes, yes. I love that. So that goes to a big, big passion of mine, which is recycling our money within our own community, which
That part.
means with other Black-owned businesses, right? As opposed
Mhm.
to spinning it out there. So one thing I say is that we as a Black community, we have certain products that we use that have been handed down from the great grandma to the grandma to our mothers that we still use in our household with our kids. And I
Mhm.
say I would love to have those replaced with Black-owned products because we've made those people like the Crown Royal hair grease. We've made those people millionaires. The certain kind of lotions we use, things Tide,
All
certain
the
kind of
cocoa butter
detergent.
and all the
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Things that we use, we have made billionaires out of those companies because we have um devotedly only just repurchase week after week, right? And generation after generation. So now there's a lot of Black-owned businesses out there. It's time for us to look at what we're using around our homes and find a Black-owned business that makes it. They make soap, they make every body care thing, they make sunscreen, we make washing detergent, all those things.
Yeah.
We can search and find and spend our money there and recirculate those dollars. It doesn't have to be a storefront. It could be online purchases.
But most of us purchase, I mean, most of 85% of my purchases are done online anyway. So
Yes,
it would be nice. And we also can create our own Instacart. So we can create a app where our drivers are actually delivering the packages and getting the money.
yes,
And I mean, you're right. It is a mind shift about where do we go from here, given the
right.
state of our country and our world today, that as if enough hasn't been done. Now let's really just do some more.
Yes,
So when we gonna just wake up and say, you know what? I don't care. It could be, I could think it's subpar. I could have a horrible experience. Whatever, I'm gonna work with my brother, my sister to help them
yes,
get better. I'm gonna keep supporting them, and
right.
I'm gonna have conversations with them. You
There,
don't have to
that
sit there
part
and
right
negative.
there.
Yeah, you don't have
If
to
if
sit there
it's
and
not
negative
if it's
reviews
not
on
up to
them.
my standard, then I can talk to you and see, well, why don't you do it this way and this way,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Instead of saying, I ain't never going there again. They did this, they made this mistake. My husband and I, so for Mother's Day, we went to Black-owned restaurants for the entire day. So we just went to a brunch and we went to dinner, two
I
Black-owned
love that.
restaurants. So the dinner Black-owned restaurant we went to was like flooded with people. They just didn't I guess they did not plan for that many Black families coming
Okay,
in, right?
okay.
And but they did, so they ran out of some certain dishes and you had to switch your dish to something else. But I've been going to this particular restaurant, a lot before this. So
Yeah,
whenever I go, it's exemplary service. So I
yeah.
understood you're super busy today and you just didn't think your community was going to show up like this for you. but they did. Everybody brought their mamas and their aunties in here.
Oh, I love
So,
it.
yeah, so I wouldn't leave and say, oh, they didn't have what I wanted and I had to switch to something else. I give them grace, right?
Yes, yes.
And
Because
I
we
will
can
be
give
going
people
back.
breaks real quick.
Yes.
You will pull up to McDonald's and have a bad experience, but you'll be pulling up
Go,
again 2 days from there. So don't, we have a reason to why we don't support each other. All the reasons. We have
yes.
no
And
reason
no
why we
reason is good
continue to
enough.
be disrespected by anybody else. So
Yeah.
I ain't trying to hear it.
Yes.
You gotta look
Yes.
within and say, why is that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. What's the programming that has me thinking this way?
Mhm.
And how can I change it? Because it
This is
is
how I think.
programming. It's not truth,
Absolutely.
right? It's programming.
It's programming.
That's it. It's not
Absolutely.
truth. So I love that. I love that. Wonderful, wonderful. So when you think about goal setting in your business, because I know two things that Black women entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs probably totally struggle with is setting goals and time management, setting a
Mhm.
schedule, right? It can be overwhelming as an entrepreneur to figure out what do I do first? Because we wear so many hats. What do I do first and how do I lay it out in a day or a week? Or when I set this goal, how do I break it down? So what do you do for your daily schedule or your weekly schedule? How do you manage it?
Well, I do create a weekly schedule. At the end of each year, I have goals. So I put it up on all my wallpaper, my phone, my computer, and so I can see it every day. Those would be financial, fitness, family goals, travel goals, and work backwards. So if I want to make this amount of money from this business within a calendar year, what do I need to charge? How many people do I need to sign up? How many people need to keep resubscribing, or how many people, and what does that look like on a daily basis for its outreach? So I listened to a gentleman named Alex Ramosi on YouTube. He's CEO of acquisition.com.
Okay.
And he also was co-owner of the school platform that I host my writing
Oh,
school.
okay.
Yeah. And one thing that he said, and I listen to a lot of business books, educational books, because I don't know what I don't know.
Right.
And I had all of these things planned out. This is what I need to do, blah, blah, blah. And I have the website, the logo, the name, and all that. None of that matters. They like, you need proof of concept until you get a sale. You do not have a business, you have a hobby. Right. So when I got into this business, I was like, oh my God, I just got a hobby so I can get my first client. And
Mm.
not just my first client to just book a one-on-one session, but actually go through the program and go, get her book released and all of that. So now that that's been done, it's like reverse engineering and figure out how I can do that on a daily basis. How many people do I need to outreach to? What methods, do I need to reach out to these people on? And also trying to come up with budget. This is part of goal setting. Like, even though Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube are free to post on, they're not free to be noticed on.
Uh-huh.
You have to get some SEO, invest in SEO. You have to understand the algorithm. You have to know how to read the back dashboard, work on like it's a lot of sweat equity that's going into it.
Yes, yes.
And one thing my coach helped me do is focus on the things that matter. It's like when you look at your dashboard, this needs to improve. This needs to get here, 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 right?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And you can check it, after so many days after each post. So there's some metrics that goes within those goals, because sometimes we do just say, hey, this year I'm going to lose 12 pounds, or I'm
Uh-huh.
going to get married, or I'm going to go, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to save this and pay off my debt. Okay, how?
Uh-huh.
So yeah, the goal is what you see every day, but what you listed, but your task and activity is really how you reach that goal. And so
Mm.
I'm task and activity focused. And then it's important to have that coach, because they want to make sure that the things that you're doing, the task and activity, are actually in March as important as they were in January, because sometimes things shift. And so they just
Ah.
kind of keep you alert that, okay, what you did in January to get 14 sales. If
Right.
it's not working by September, we need to go back and see what's going on. Maybe we need to change our focus. And I
Mm,
say all that is a lot of words to say that goals is, it sounds like it's one and done. It is not.
mm,
It is a
yes.
process. It is a
Yes.
daily accountability, knowing your numbers, knowing your activities. Stop saying I didn't do it on Tuesday, so I'm gonna do it double on Wednesday. That's never going to happen. That's not sustainable. But just know your numbers. Plan your week, plan your month, plan your year backwards.
Mm, I love that you shared that. And that's a very important part. The goal may be one thing, but what it takes to get to it may have multiple parts to it. And you
Multiple.
have to know what those most important pieces are. What do you need to monitor? And so that you can adjust and shift and pivot, in a reasonable amount of time versus 6 or 9 months later, right? Wonderful. I love that. Very good information. What platform do you use the most for marketing?
Right now, I would say Facebook because I
Okay.
have, it seems like that's more personal.
Okay.
And probably shouldn't because it's because I know those people don't mean they my people. You know what I'm saying?
And
For
you,
the real excuses. But I post on YouTube, one long form, two reels a week. I'm going to increase that. I have to increase that. YouTube is an amazing platform, but it is extremely um, high traffic.
uh,
And there's some amazing, stellar content on YouTube. So it is
yeah.
not a place to go and play games on. You got to bring it for real. And
Uh-huh.
then you got to know those back room analytics and just really speak to your people. Now,
Mm,
one thing I do need to do, which we will start in July, is putting dollars behind this.
mm,
What I was trying to do is bring in a certain amount before I started doing paid advertisement.
right.
But Alex Hormozy definitely believes in um, how much the acquisition costs for a customer and
Mm,
focusing on that, because you got to get out there and you got to be in people's face every day.
mm,
So, but
great.
yeah, YouTube, that's my home base. But
Okay.
when it comes to like my DMs and I'm in a part of a bunch of communities on Facebook. I post there every 3 days, and then
Hmm.
LinkedIn every 3 days.
Uh-huh.
Not so much Instagram because I've been posting there forever, wasn't getting a lot of. I think when I pivoted, people fell off because they was like, "Oh, I was loving to hear her general content, but I don't know about this book thing." But that's okay.
Right.
My people will find me because I'm going to stick with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, great information. And then you mentioned school. So you have a community on school?
Yes, I have two communities. So a school, SKOOL,
Right.
and so I have Writer's Block Academy, which is totally free. Those are for my looky-loos, the
Uh-huh.
curious. And then I have 90 Day Author, which is a paid subscription community, and those are for the serious. So those
Okay.
people have already done their book structure with me, and they're ready to enter into the 90-day sprint because I can't hold you to a 90-day right to publish if I haven't walked you through the tools like your writing schedule, your outline, and identifying your avatar. It's hard for me to put you on the track if I haven't stretched with you first. So,
Got it. Got it. I like that. Put you on a track if I haven't stretched with you. Okay. I love that. So, Faye, what do you do? Because as entrepreneurs, we know it can be a taxing experience to keep going and building our businesses. So, what do you do for your self-care regimen? How do you take care of yourself? And what do you do on those days when you feel like quitting, when it's like, why am I doing this? Do you have those days?
I, the school community is relatively new, so I haven't had it as much as I did with my YouTube channel, Writer's Block, initially, because I just wasn't seeing the numbers that I needed to see. And like Gary Vanderchuk, I hate to say it if I'm saying it there, Gary Vanderchuk, he's a huge influence on YouTube. Huge.
Okay.
It's just like no one knew me for 6 years. I put out content, and now he's like one of the number one YouTubers. So
Mhm.
that consistency.
Uh-huh.
So for me, it can get very overwhelming and frustrating because yes, I just started this community in October, so uh, I have another, obligation prior to that. And I would like to just transition over into this 100%. So
Okay.
I'm looking to hire staff. I need more coaches. I need
Mm,
more editors, formatters, cover designers, because in our 90-day author community, all of that is included in your subscription. So that's how I'm able to kind of get people from A to Z relatively quickly because they don't have to look outside of the community for those
got it.
resources. Hmm.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah. So I just keep pushing. Once we did, I do a toast when my authors publish their book and they get their email and say it's going live on this day. We go live and we do a champagne toast to them. So we just did one last Saturday, and those
Ah,
type of things keep me inspired. Just the faces and the stories is what it would never allow me to quit because this is personal.
mm, I love that. I love that. And do you have like a daily self-care routine, a weekly, or how do you take care of you?
Oh, yeah, I forgot you did ask me that. My apologies. So, I'm in the process. One of my things for 2025 is a total body recomposition.
Uh-huh.
So, eating more protein. So
Uh-huh.
I eat all this food. I have to do so much. I do 4 weeks of weight training, and the rest is cardio, even on days off. So, like when I get off here, because my work day started kind of early today, and I didn't finish until it was time for us to talk.
Uh-huh.
Then I go to the gym and do an hour, 40 minutes of weight training, 20 minutes of cardio, and then I'll go to Hot Works, which is a 45-minute like stretch class. I'm gonna do stretch this evening.
Okay.
So that's important to me. Nothing else matters if I can't feel good. That's how
Uh,
I am at this stage in my life. I
yeah.
like working out. I keep seeing the body that I want, so that's keeping me pushing
Keep
forward.
Wonderful,
And
wonderful.
hydrate, 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 hydrate.
Yes, yes. Good stuff, good stuff. So before we wrap up, is there anything you want to share with the audience that maybe we haven't covered, a question I didn't ask you, but something that's on your mind? Feel free to do it now.
Yeah, only thing I'd like to wrap up with is that I know you got a million things going on. I know this. I know money is tight. Some of you may have lost your job because of the new administration or
Mm,
because of whatever. I know you got a kid about to go to college. I know you're about to go to Hawaii on this trip. I know all the things. But I also want you to know if you will just commit to 90 days, it will change your life for the
mm,
better. I guarantee you that. There is no feeling. There is not one person who I reach out to who has already written a book who their whole response is totally different than a person who hasn't. Like
ah,
it's a whole different level of confidence,
ah,
right?
right.
Whether they do anything with it but put it on KDP, it's like checkmate. I did that. And
Ah,
I leave you with this stat. Over the last 10 years, 76% of books written were by white authors. That
mm,
is disrespectful when you don't have to publish through a publishing house. You are 100% in control. We can increase those numbers. In the next 10 years, let it be 50-50
right,
because you don't have to go through a traditional publishing house. You have
right.
no barriers to entry.
Yes, yes. And that's a big deal. That's a big difference, right? You can just publish it yourself versus waiting for someone else to see value in it.
Absolutely. You don't have to do query letters. Now, this is
Right.
maybe something you want to do later down the line, like you release it, and then you may have a publisher reach out to you because you're getting a lot of reviews, etc. But that's later down the line. Don't halt your progress writing your book, whether it's your story or your expertise, because of some made up barriers that are not there. The only thing is just all you have to do is book a call, 15 minutes. We'll talk through it. If you're interested, we can go and get you
Mm,
started. No pressure, but a lot of pressure.
right. And the result, one of the things you've shared with us is the result is the person you meet when you've completed this, right? It won't be the same person who started this. It won't be that person who waited 20 year in the past 20 years haven't written the book yet. It's going to be can you imagine meeting a new you in 90 days?
Baby,
Wow. Wow.
baby, I just went through a young lady, I mean, would talk traumatic experience with a relationship.
Mm,
She was opening up to me. You know what I'm saying? It was her
yeah.
personal story, so it took us right just over 90 days. But she just released her book last on Mother's Day. It was released. And it was a
Mm,
hard process because these
mm.
things she had buried down inside of her.
Yes.
She didn't want to talk about. It was
Yes.
extremely traumatic. But
Mm,
to see her work through that, show up on the camera at all her sessions, do everything I asked her to do, man, she in the process was an author before her book was published because she made up her mind that she was going to write her book. So
I
you're
love
an
that.
author the minute you say, I'm going to do it.
Yes. Wonderful, wonderful. So Faye, as we close out, I ask my guests four fun questions
Okay.
that my audience can get to know you on a personal level. So the first one for you is, what was your favorite childhood game?
My favorite, kickball.
Ah, okay, nice. A second question is, if you can have a conversation with anyone from history, who would you select and why?
Anyone in history. I don't want this to sound disrespectful, but I would probably have a conversation with Martin Luther King. And
Okay.
the reason being, I wonder, does he have concern or do he feel that he made the right choice when it comes to segregation?
Okay. Very
Like,
good.
yeah,
Right, right. Very good. Who was your favorite teacher and why?
Miss Solomon, she was a geometry teacher, and it didn't feel like class. Her
Ah,
voice, just the way she
really?
talked, was like she was,
Geometry? She had
huh?
to be, she must have been really good because geometry didn't feel like class.
It did not feel like class. Mrs. Scott, oh my goodness. Now, they used to say she had a little alcohol in her coffee cup, but I never smelled it.
That would explain
But,
it. That
so,
would explain it.
she was easy peasy, and she took that subject and she made it easy.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it
I
wasn't
love that.
intimidating at all. So it's
I love
important.
that. Uh-huh. What do you consider your superpower?
Oh, my superpower is, what can I say? What is it? What would I say it is? I hate to say resilience because that just sounds so overused. But I guess I could say reinventing. Like,
Okay.
oh no, we're not gonna say that. My superpower was actually taking lemons and making it honey.
Ah, okay. Yes. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time being with us today, talking about your journey in the excellent service and work that you do for us to
Yeah.
get our stories out there. We appreciate you for that. Again,
Oh,
thank you
thank
so
you.
much for being with us. And as always, I wish you the very best of joy, health, and wealth.
Thank you. The same to you. Joy, health, and wealth.
Thank
Absolutely. I
you.
received that.
Thank you. Today's podcast is being sponsored by Your 90 Day Success Journal for Black Women Entrepreneurs by Lynette Cottrell. The journal is available on Amazon. It's inclusive of monthly goals, weekly and daily goals, affirmations, self-care practices, and inspiring quotes from other Black women. Be sure to get your copy today. Your 90-Day Success Journal. Hey there, beautiful. Thank you so much for tuning in to Women of Color in Business. I hope today's conversation gave you fresh inspiration, insight, and practical tools to move your business forward. If you found value here, please subscribe, leave a review, and rate us 5 stars. And please, please, please share this episode with a fellow Black woman entrepreneur you know. Hey, let's stay connected. Connect with me on YouTube, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and join our mailing list via the links in the show notes. Next week, we'll be diving into more great topics and new guests, so stay tuned. Until next time, I wish you the very best of joy, health, and wealth. Remember, your voice matters and your business deserves to thrive. See you next time.